So glad you could rejoin us here, our live show, Sheffield Live TV, of a Thursday night with two guests this evening. If you missed part one, you can catch up with that on YouTube, or this show is actually repeated on Sheffield Live TV at 11 p.m. this evening. The manager of Dronfield Town FC, who are thriving despite paying the players nothing whatsoever, a zero budget operated by a manager who doesn't earn anything either, Chris Millington, who's with us, and the maker of the All Wednesday film, much acclaimed, Matt Exton is with us as well to tell us more about that, and we'll see a couple more clips from a film which hopefully is going to be more widely circulated in time. Welcome back, gents. You're both avid Owls fans as well. I was going to say, I'm really glad that you didn't call your film All Wednesday, Aren't We? Well, because I'm not allowed to say that.
You just have.
In my impartiality. I know. I am allowed to say All Wednesday. You get me into bother, yeah. You both go to games, but I imagine you go regularly, Matt.
Well, I've got a season ticket. You know, I don't go as regularly as a lot of some of the hardcores, but yeah, I've got a season ticket and I go away when I can. But it's not always. The wife don't always allow that.
I'm hoping then you didn't make it down to Nottingham Forest.
No, I didn't. I didn't go down last night. I'm going to Villa. I'm going to Villa on Saturday, but I didn't make it down to Forest last night. Yeah.
And you'll obviously be playing a lot of the time.
Yeah, I struggle to get.
So, what are your thoughts generally? There seems to be a bit of confusion as to how Wednesday are doing and where they can aim for this season. I don't think kind of two supporters would kind of tell you the same thing. There seems to be a confusion about where they're at, and it seems to fluctuate almost from game to game. It's either up there or down there. So what do you think generally?
I don't know. It's classic Wednesday, really, isn't it? You can have one game where they play well, and you walk away and you think, oh yeah, we're going to do it now. And then like next game, they'll, like last night, they'll put in. I can't comment because I didn't go, but my friend went and he said they weren't that great, and then that happens. So we've always been one of them teams that struggle for consistency.
It's classic Championship though, really.
Yeah, it's not the easiest of leagues, is it?
There isn't an easier. I was at Bramall Lane watching Sheffield United held 0-0 by Birmingham. You don't get many 0-0s at Bramall Lane with the way that Sheffield United play. The interesting thing about Wednesday, they've not kept a clean sheet, but they score regularly as well. They even managed one at the back end at Nottingham Forest. And I don't know, I think Jos Luhukay, who's had difficult circumstances, is playing the right way. His best players are attacking players. And I know they played badly last night, but he's trying to get a system to get as many of those attacking players in the side as possible, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And like, I watched bits of the game last night.
Just try to score more than the opposition.
Yeah, I
watched.
Yeah, see, that's it. It's straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's easy. You'll tell me it's not.
I watched bits of the game last night, and I just struggled to kind of understand what we were trying to do, if I'm honest, last night. I mean, I don't watch every game, and because we play and what have you. But I don't know. I think when we got rid of Carlos, I think it was a great opportunity to appoint someone with probably a little bit of experience. And I don't know if the owner puts value on the manager, because in came a guy that I'd never heard of. I think 60-70% of the people, well, even more,
probably more,
had not heard of. So I just struggle with that, because he'll spend money on the pitch, which is great. I mean, we've got good players that are on supposedly good money, but there just seems to be no value put on the appointment of the manager, which I just find.
Both the appointments have been left field, but just because they're left field doesn't, or many fans have not heard of them, doesn't mean to say that they can't do it.
It's probably the first thing they'll look at, isn't it, when things start to go wrong, rather than if you had an experienced manager who you could say turned a club around in 2 or 3 years in the Championship. I just think when Carlos was appointed, it was the same, but it worked out. We probably got a little bit predictable in terms of how we were playing. Teams worked us out. And then we kind of finished mid-table or below, and then we've tried to do the same, but he's working with a set of players that he's inherited, and it's difficult. It's difficult to turn that round, especially with the financial fair play constrictions that they've had recently. So
playing 4-3-3, a variation, and I think 3-5-2 looked like the way forward, but Jack Hunt going, and really no automatic kind of wing-back players there other than Adam Reach, who you'd want to be sort of more involved centrally. Do you think 4-3-3 is the right way to go?
I don't know. I've never really been one for having much of a knowledge about formations and
more about the players.
Yeah, players individually. I think there's certain places certain positions you'd rather than play. I mean, I quite like Reach down on the wing, the left wing. I think when he was covering at sort of left wing back, he was kind of getting down that wing and providing some width. But obviously, you know, some people say they prefer him central, you know. But like, I don't know. I think you know, since Jack went, we've never really, well, even before then, we've never really sort of filled those winger positions. We've always sort of lacked a little bit of pace down the wings, particularly. Like, I think the only real kind of sparks for pace have been, you know, through Forestieri and Bannon. You know, I think width was, and I think that could be one of the reasons why it didn't quite work out for Jordan Rose, was that we couldn't quite play to his strengths. And
you're nodding.
Yeah. So, you know, but like you say, he's inherited the team, and he's only really brought, you know, Pelliapessi and the two lads who just come in.
And Omar and also Michael Hector,
Yeah, which we've sort of yet to really see. I mean, like I say, my friend who went to Forest last night said that he thought that Omar could be quite good. But, you know, it's early days, so it's hard to sort of judge when he's kind of had that. I thought he did all right considering the injuries last season, but I think when we get some of those key players back, that's when time will really sort of tell.
Yeah, I think where Forestieri's concerned, you know, you can respect Jos Lukai for taking the stand that he did when he needed a big couple of results, and he really put a marker down, didn't he? And a couple of wins came, a very brave decision, although he may have felt he'd got nothing to lose. But you would think that if Wednesday are to compete for top six this season, there has to be a way of getting Forestieri in that team, because...
Yeah, 100%.
You agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. He's got to be in the team. I mean, obviously, I don't watch him every week, like I say, but everything you read, everything you hear from people that go and watch who know the football say that he needs to be in the team, and that's my opinion as well. He should be. He can make things happen. He can score. You can see the minute he gets the ball, people are off the feet. So it's the kind of play that people want to go and watch, and the lads will want him in the team as well. So
yeah, could make the difference, and certainly makes the difference in tight matches. You know, kind of player that can conjure a point from a losing performance, as at Forest. So let's look forward to that. But in the meantime, let's go back to another of the clips that kindly provided by Matt Exton from his All Wednesday film, which was shown quite recently at the Showroom Cinema just next door to this building, part of the same building block actually, which hopefully will be shown a couple more times before going on loan. This is a bit of a character. You thrive on your characters. This is a fast food van man talking about the arrival at the club of a certain Ron Atkinson in 1989.
What a situation!
It was his first season. I think before him it was Peter Eustace. He'd just been fired. Big Ron was named as the next manager. I was like, well excited.
New Sheffield Wednesday manager, Ron Atkinson takes his seat.
During that time I was a ball boy at the matches, which was as close as I was ever going to get to playing a football on Hillsborough. I wasn't like the best footballer. So it was all kind of building up to the final or the next to final match of the season against Middlesbrough.
This match has all the feelings of a cup tie, still 0-0.
This is a bit weird. I do remember this kind of really strongly. It was about 3 corners in a row from Dean Barrack. He kind of hit one, headed it out, hit one a little bit further in.
A little deeper this time, and it's a corner again.
The third one was like perfect. Hit Steve Whitton and then 1-0.
Again, it's swerving in, and it's Whitton! A crucial goal for Sheffield Wednesday.
Weird, isn't it, that you kind of remember something in such detail like one, and it's like just one game, isn't it?
That's it. Steve Whitten, yeah, there's a name. You forget these names, and then they come back in that form. It was a key goal. He was a key signing by Ron Atkinson. And Big Ron, you know, one of the managers I look back at over quite a number of years covering Sheffield football, made the most impact. You know, Dave Bassett over this side, Jack Charleston and Ron Atkinson there. He just electrified everybody. Yeah. And clearly you've got quite a few stories. He's a character, isn't he?
Yeah, no.
There's a bit more to it.
I was speaking to him this morning actually, and I was telling him about it. I don't know if I didn't tell him that he were on it.
He didn't.
But I should invoice him actually. He's had some free advertising there, so that'll probably get me a few free bacon butties actually. So. But yeah, no, there is more to his story actually. But it's quite, you know, it'd spoil it to give it away.
Would it? Right. Okay.
And also, like I said, I think it's quite long, so you kind of need to see that whole bit from the start to the kind of end of that bit. So, but yeah, people will see it eventually, I suppose.
Okay. These are all teasers, and we've got one more film clip to come. You may have noticed that I'm on my own on this side of the sofa this evening. James is in warmer climes. He couldn't have picked a better time for it either. He's swimming and we're swimming, but he's got nothing coming from the sky at him at the moment. So it falls to me to attempt a roundup. Just to say right at the start of it that we have a special next week, a major standalone guest in the studio. I'll be doing a one-to-one with him in part 1, and then James will join us for a bit of a free-for-all, including a roundup in part 2. So that's something to look forward to a week from now. So what have we got? A couple of lines struck me from Dave Sims' ever punchy Sheffield Telegraph column on Sheffield Steelers ice hockey. They've not been getting the greatest of results this season, and I quote from Sims's column: "Outside the club, there seems to be bitter resentment from what I believe to be a vocal minority unaware of the facts. Inside the club, there is a disappointment and frustration, but also a realisation that the first part of this new season was always going to be tough after making 16 new signings." So there's a lot more explanation to that in Sims's column. This weekend, by the way, Steelers are away at Manchester Storm, and then they're at home to Cardiff on Sunday. That's at a new time these days down at the arena. It's 4 p.m. on Sundays now for Sheffield Steelers against Cardiff. Always a testing opposition, that. Sheffield Eagles Rugby League wrapping up the season now, looking to next season. And I read today that the chief, Mark Aston, is excitedly saying that 6 or 7 new signings are already in the bag, yet to be announced, so we await that news. Meanwhile, a new season dawns for Sheffield Eagles, Sheffield Sharks I should say, on the basketball court, and Sharks begin this Friday, that's tomorrow as we speak, against Manchester Giants at the EIS. A couple of non-league football notes. Chris Millington will be interested in these. Hallam against Harworth Colliery. That's in NCEL Division 1 on Saturday. When you'll be playing somewhere as well.
Skegness.
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 Skeggy.
Yeah.
Away trip. Is that your longest away trip?
It is. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of others that are close, on the other side of Hull, but yeah, I think that's
right.
the longest one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at Skegness. Actually, the weather forecast is very good. Amazingly, as we speak, for Saturday, it's warm and sunny.
Nice, yeah.
So
absolutely.
Take a few fans over there, enjoy your day over at Skeggy. Meanwhile, Sheffield FC are looking to continue their revival, having had a terrible start to the season. They're putting a good run together now. Next up is Loughborough Dynamo away on Tuesday. I don't think they play this weekend. I saw the midweek game in the League Cup. That finished Sheffield 3, Stocksbridge Park Steels 1, ever entertaining. I brought down the goal average because there had been 6 goals a game on average in Sheffield FC games up to then. They're in a mere 4 in this particular one. Lots of young players on both sides, but a couple of the goals were, well, one of the goals was an absolute peach, a debut goal from Johnny Pugh. What a hit that was. Player that I know that you're aware of.
Yeah, he came through the Dronfield Town kind of youth team. He's been there, played there when he was younger. Was away, went away to America for a scholarship. and has come back, trained with us pre-season, but was always had a view to go and play at a higher level. And he's got a lot of ability. Johnny is a really good player.
Just looking for a club that will pay him nothing. So, you're in the market. You're in the market there. Also goals from Wade Fairhurst. He gets quite a few. Yeah. And James Gregory, that was beautifully taken as well. And Matt Roney was man of the match. Yeah. You know, he's got it up there.
Yeah.
And he was creating all sorts of danger. And good, finally, in the roundup to see our old friend, your friend as well, Ryan Hindley, back in business as manager of Rossington Main FC. So, you know, you never keep a good man down.
No,
and best of luck to Ryan. I think his first game is this weekend. I think it's a home game as well, isn't it?
But they've got FC Balls over this weekend. So
have they?
Yeah.
Right. So good luck there. Right. Sorry if I missed you out, but as I say, James will be back next week to be all-inclusive. I think he's all-inclusive at the moment as well. So. Let's go back to the film, the Wednesday film, a final excerpt from it, all Wednesday. And this, obviously, there are highs and lows in football, and these create this emotional ripple either way. And this clip focuses on the impact of Wednesday's relegation from the Premier League in the year 2000.
We were 3-1 up against Arsenal, and they scored 2 goals in 2 minutes to send us into relegation. Thierry Henry scored. I'll never forget.
Henry, goal!
I never had the type of emotion before until I started following football. And it really affects you. I never realized how a sport could affect. I followed sport all my life, and it's just been sort of, you know, off the shoulder stuff. It really, I didn't want to go to work. It can be really depressing sometimes.
It's been a season of sorrow for Sheffield Wednesday, and last night's draw at Highbury put the final nail in their relegation coffin.
That close season before we started, it was just, I don't think we'll ever see anything like that happen to Wednesday again. I mean, we just lost every single player, and I can still remember now going to Wolves and having to wait until the Sunday morning for the kick-off live on Sky, and then Prezi got sent off after 13 seconds.
I'm impressed with seeing red there.
Good picture.
Man, what a start to that season that was.
At Wolves, yeah. I mean, it wasn't just the relegation, it was what followed and the baggage for many, many years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The long contracts that players were on, the expensive contracts. You know, there was a long sentence to be served, wasn't there?
Well,
as a result of that.
Yeah, I think the thing is like I kind of forgot a lot about that, and the great thing about doing this film was speaking to fans who knew stuff about that time that I'd forgot or didn't know. So like, you know, some of the stories they told you couldn't believe. Like one of the like a couple of the guys in the film, they ran a fanzine, and they knew everything from that depressing.
Which fanzine was that? Is
that
War of the Monster
War of the Monster Trucks, yeah.
Paul Taylor and
Steve
Walmsley,
So, but yeah, they told me this story where basically at that time, I think they had 2 separate changing rooms, and like one part was for like the kind of big high earner players, and then the other was for the not so high earner players, and they had to like get builders in to knock the wall down because they were like the team was just separated. It was just crazy, like. So yeah, it's quite interesting. In fact, learning some of those depressing facts.
You don't have that problem at Dronfield.
No, we don't. We've just got a poor corner. Where they all congregate. Poor corner.
Well, that has been, you know, not as graphic now, but that's been a challenge for the current manager as well.
Yeah.
Jos Luhukay, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, he's got, you know, a fair few big earning players in there.
Yeah.
He's had to make some tough calls.
Yeah.
So he's got that integration, and it strikes me that maybe at Forest last night this fell apart, but from what I've seen lately, there's been a good collective spirit on the field, which is something that you need as a basic, isn't it?
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that I do kind of, you know, admire is the fact, I don't know if it's through choice or just his own, but is the fact that he's giving the youth a chance, you know, the academy team a chance, and bringing a few of those players in from the development side. And it's been a while since we've done that, and I think, you know, had that have happened slightly earlier, we might have still, you know, got, you know, Hursty's lad and maybe, you know, Sean Clare might have stuck around. I'm not saying that that was the right decision, but, you know, we might have got to have seen the potential that everyone was talking about. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm all for that, as long as kind of like there's a mix of that and, you know, with experience. I think that's the way to do it. Yeah,
it's unusual for so many all at one go. I think in the calendar year something like 10 debuts were handed out, which is astonishing.
Yeah.
You know, ideally, I mean, it's difficult to integrate 2 or 3. So, you know, but actually, it's created in my view, it created a freshness which was needed, because things were going a bit stale.
Yeah, and I think if you look at obviously what the others have done, they've had some fantastic young prospects come through in last. You know,
who do you mean?
United. So, and I think, like you say, mate, it's nice that now they are, you know, there's some young lads coming through, because they seem to have got it really right over at Bramhall Lane. So, yeah,
but it's been a consistent conveyor belt for a long time now, which is what you're really aiming to have, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
It does save money as well.
Yeah,
in the
it
long
makes
run.
money, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because they sell them for you know, they sell them for, and there'll be sell-on clauses and all that. So it's it's something that is really good to see.
Okay, so you'll be heading off to Birmingham to Aston Villa at the weekend. Really attractive game. I think Wednesday won there last year.
Yeah, I think 2-1. I think.
Yeah.
Reach with an absolute screamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go last year, but yeah, this time I thought, I'll go down.
Yeah, I don't predict
I
results.
can't see him doing the same this time.
Well,
you never know.
I know that I stuck my neck out a year ago and I predicted on Twitter emphatically that Wednesday would win the game, and they did.
Yeah.
And I'm quitting while I'm ahead.
Yeah, too right.
Yeah, I think if they come out with a draw, I think it'd be a very good result there. Sheffield United v Preston is my game this weekend. Hoping I've got the 0-0s out of my system now. I think I've had 2 this season now. One on Tuesday, and then we move on with more goals. And you're at Skegness, so
we are.
You're 4th in the Northern Counties East League, as they call it. Realistically, where do you think you might? We're
aiming to finish in the top half now. We've had a good start.
Right.
That's it's important we don't get carried away. If we can
manager speak.
Yeah, too right. If we can qualify
every game as it comes.
If we can qualify for the FA Cup, which is something the club's never done, so you're probably looking at top 8 for that. That'd be a great season for us, and it'll get us looking forward. Because in the past, what we've done for the past 4 seasons is just look behind us and make sure we're safe, make sure we get to 35 points. But we want to change that mindset now and look up, look forward, and hopefully get in that top half.
Negotiating a new contract anytime?
Yeah, as we speak.
Right, okay. Pay rise?
No,
same terms.
Same terms, I'll take
exactly the same terms.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure hearing about Dronfield Town. I always say that our local non-league football is underrated, because I think the entertainment value from it is worth far more. Would merit far more than the numbers of people who actually go and watch it, and I strongly recommend that you do. My grateful thanks to Matt Exton of the Sheffield Wednesday film. We wish you power to add to that with the live performances and going online, and also Chris Millington, good luck to you, and Dronfield Town FC. Thank you for watching. It'll be on my YouTube channel later if you missed. Big guest next week as well. See you then. Bye.